and welcome everybody to a Narrative Live surprise event. We weren't even sure we were going to be doing it, but here we are. A little special for everybody just to take a look at what's happening today on this No King's Day. Millions of people have shown up in the streets of America to protest this government, to protest the idea of autocracy, to protect democracy. And we're looking at pictures right now of St. Paul, Minneapolis, where Bernie Sanders is talking to a very large crowd. Of how many people do you think are there in Minneapolis, Nick Parra? And welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Hey, Zev, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me. And I mean, just from that, there's clearly thousands of people in St. Paul. I would just from that audience, let's say 10,000.
Yeah, it could be even more. I mean, there is a tremendous vibe obviously going on there because of what happened earlier this year when they lost two of their citizens in these ICE raids, Alex Pretty and Renee Nicole Good. And so the attention is there today in Minneapolis for this No Kings rally. And that is why Bruce Springsteen showed up there. We'll play you some of him a little bit later on if you missed it. And Bernie Sanders showed up. So let's listen to some Bernie Sanders. And just to be wild and crazy and chaotic, we're going to put this link to join our show here in the Substack chat, which is not something I would ever recommend for anybody to do, but we're going to try to do it anyhow. And if you're at a live event or if you've been to one and you just want to join us and say, hey, this is what my experience was like, use that link. We'll be very judicious about who we put on. So don't be upset if you get cut off or you don't make it. But, we'll see what happens. Right. Let's listen now to Bernie Sanders. This is a typical speech of his that he's been giving a lot lately, but it's the right tones.
Exactly. We're not getting any sound yet for Bernie. Oh, we've got you muted now, too.
I'm sorry. I thought you were getting sound. They're getting sound now, right? They're getting sound now, yes. Okay. Sorry about that. Fancy system here.
It is not just the oligarchs and their insatiable greed that we must combat. Now, as the news literally of today reminds us, we have got to stop the out-of-control militarism of the Trump administration, whether it is here at home in cities like Minneapolis and St. Paul or abroad. Let us be honest. The American people were lied to about the war in Vietnam. We were lied to.
All right. Well, thanks for sticking with us this afternoon, folks, here on the Carol.
Did they cut Bernie off?
When historians write about this dangerous moment in American history, when they write about courage and sacrifice, the people of Minnesota will deserve a special chapter for themselves. In the face of unprecedented occupation of this city by ICE, Trump's domestic army, this community stood up and with extraordinary solidarity fought back and won. Minnesota showed the American people and in fact the world what democracy is about, what grassroots activism is about, and what standing up for the American ideals of freedom and justice is about. And I want to thank my colleagues, Amy Klobuchar and Tina Smith, for their leadership in the Senate on this issue. And today we remember and honor
Oh, Zev, you're on mute.
Okay, I'm going to not mute myself anymore.
And
let's
so,
let's listen to this moment here quickly.
yeah.
So this actually happened earlier, but it is the protests there. A lot of them are there to remember those two of their citizens. I mean, when you think about the tragic way that they died at the hands of ICE, at the Renee Good was basically videotaping an event as she should be able to do using her rights in America, and was shot in the face and killed. And then the Alex Preddy in even more horrific circumstances, trying to protect another protester who was not even protesting, was just shooting video, and then finding himself in that throng of ICE masked assailants who killed him. Those are tragedies that seem like a long time ago, but they were pretty recent, certainly recent in Minneapolis's minds. What's your thought about how much is going on right now? Because that seems like months ago. This doesn't even feel like it was this year. Yet it was this year. It's just in January.
Yeah, and I can comment on the Minneapolis thing too, because I was fortunate enough to be able to go to Minneapolis a few weeks ago with the sponsorship of Veterans Fighting Fascism for the Abolish ICE Live event that was put on in honor of Alex Preddy and Renee Nicole Good. And I got the sense from the folks in Minneapolis while I was there, from just listening to their conversations, talking with them, feeling their emotions while in the scenes, was they're so mad, but they are so together. They are such a community now that they weren't before any of these tragedies, and they have solidified around each other and the love for each other. And Prince said a long time ago that Minnesota would be the start of the revolution, or would be where the revolution started. And I don't think he was wrong. I don't think he was wrong, because the Minnesota nice is only as thin as the ice that ICE walks on. Yeah. And they're going to push them through. They've come together, and I'm looking at estimates that I pulled together on some early figures and projections from throughout the day. And it looks like the Twin Cities flagship event had 100,000 plus people in it projected. New York City had over 350,000 people projected to have been there. Washington, D.C. is at least 200,000 people.
While we do those, why don't we actually take a look at some of those videos, because we have them here. This is New York City. It's not a very long clip, but at least it gives us a sense of what's going on there. Oops. How many people you said showed up in New York?
They were saying upwards. NYPD counted, well, I'll put it at, organizing estimates have it around 350,000.
Wow,
that could be high or low compared to what actually showed up, but I think these numbers are real in a lot of places. I think people big numbers. Pissed.
That's pretty exceptional.
Yeah,
that's not a very exciting shot they gave us there for New York, but we'll get back to another one in a bit and show you what it looks like from the air as well. This is Washington, D.C., if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look at
Palm Sunday, there were two processions that happened. There was one that we hear about with Jesus on a donkey, but there was another with Pontius Pilate and Caesar, who declared himself as king, who tried to hold down the people of that time, who tried to tell us that we do not deserve better, who tried to oppress people with cruelty, who tried to tax people and take their wages and use them for things that were not about feeding the hungry, that were not about healing the sick, that were not about caring for the poor, that were not about loving thy neighbor. And that is what we who call ourselves Christians are supposed to do.
That's I think that was New York. It looked like New York. I hope it was. In Washington D.C. That was the same clip. So that was Washington D.C. that we played. I'm sorry about that. A little confusing here with all these clips. Let's take a look at the national pictures, and why don't you give us some of those numbers as you're getting them? Because that's those are really interesting numbers.
Yeah. So continuing where we were talking about Washington D.C., they're talking about a baseline of at least 200,000 people. In the San Francisco Bay Area, they're looking at 220 plus thousand people. Boston has had over 100,000 people. No numbers have come in for Chicago, Dallas, St. Louis, Raleigh-Durham, or Fort Myers, Florida, places like that. We are also seeing international protests going on in Canada, in Italy, in France, Germany, Spain. There's reports of protests in Paris at Place de la Bastille, in Berlin, in Rome, and Madrid. And those our international friends, those who are showing solidarity with us, are doing it as no tyrants, because some of them do have kings. But theirs are no tyrants, and it's the same. It's no tyrant, no king, no wannabe fucking traitor dictator who is taking over our country. And I think a lot of people are fed up. But if I'm gonna hazard to guess that out of today's no king protests, roughly 0 real protesters will be arrested.
Yeah, that was certainly one of the concerns. A lot of people went into this. There was a big concern that ICE would use this as a means to go in and get people, and they didn't. They stayed away. That's a sign of something. I don't know if it's a sign of victory, but it's a sign of change, at least in tone or attitude at ICE, if not really in tactic. This is, if I'm not mistaken, if I can get to it, is what's going on in Boston right now, but I'm having some trouble adding it to the stage. There we go. This is Boston, where it's quite festive.
Oh, Dropkick Murphy. I just saw them the other week. They're really awesome live, and they're really great dudes.
That's a good song. I heard this earlier on. It's a good song.
Oh, it's on mute right now for everyone.
Oh, it's on mute? Oh, why is that happening? Let me try to pull it up for you because it's a really good one. Hang on.
This land I love calls me a terrorist. Yeah, I wonder how this land I love calls me a terrorist. Get those signs up there. I love my God and go to church. Yeah, I get on my knees and pray. Love my neighbor, help them out when hard times come their way. And then at night I sit alone and I think and try my best to understand how this land I love calls me a terrorist. To understand how this land I love calls me a terrorist.
And won. They did it then. We can and will do it now.
They called back, so I'll just keep loving my country, though I still don't understand how I went to bed a patriot and woke up a wanted man. Hey! I went to bed a patriot and woke up a wanted man.
How's that for something? Went to bed a patriot and grew up and woke up a wanted man or terrorist.
And that's sort of your I don't know if the transition to Bernie was accidental or not, but it sort of fit perfectly with that part of the song too.
Yeah, I was going to try to catch the last bit of him, but the feed kept cutting out.
To the stage,
let's see who's next.
Congresswoman Ilhan Omar.
This will be interesting. She, of course, represents the region.
Representative Ilhan Omar comes on stage. Someone asked, are we at the 3.5% mark yet? Early estimates and conservative estimates right now are looking at anywhere between 8 and 12 million domestic participants. So yes, we would break that 3.5 threshold.
Explain the 3.5%. Explain what that means.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, historically speaking, any fascist movement or authoritarian takeover thus far 100% of the time has fallen eventually once there's a sustained movement of 3.5% of the population peacefully resisting.
Right.
Because peaceful resistance is
the operative word there.
Powerful, sustained resistance type we can make. It makes a much more powerful message than violence.
It wasn't just a word, but it was a promise. I arrived here when I was 12 years old. I could have never imagined the day would come when we were staring down at this kind of creeping authoritarianism in the United States of America. But we are here because Donald Trump just has not chipped away at our democracy. He has taken a wrecking ball to the very foundation of what makes America great. He has tried to intimidate Minnesotans. He has tried to make us afraid. He has tried to divide us. But we stood strong. We have had each other's back, and we have never bent the knee. Because in Minnesota, we are built different. We do not cower to bullies. We are Minnesota strong. What we are seeing right now is bigger than what is happening here. Operation Metro Surge was just the tip of the iceberg. We are witnessing a full-scale assault on our rights, our institutions, and the rule of law. We have an administration that is openly and brazenly breaking the law and is acting like the Constitution is optional. And while they are doing that, they are shamefully and blatantly lying about every single thing they are doing. There were hundreds of millions of dollars in oil futures traded just minutes before a sudden reversal in U.S. policy towards Iran. This is not a coincidence, it is corruption. At DHS, we got a reckless spending spree, planes, vanity projects. It's like a billionaire's midlife crisis, except the American people are paying for it. While the Pentagon keeps failing its audits year after year, somehow they are able to find the budget for steak and lobster. And we know that what Trump calls strength is his idea of liberating women in Iran is to bomb and murder school children. They are pushing for the SAFE Act to disenfranchise millions of voters because they know they are not going to win a fair election. They are floating an illegal takeover of places like Cuba and Greenland like it is some kind of a real estate deal. And under the so-called anti-war president, we have now seen the launching of military operations in Iran, in Venezuela, and in Ecuador. Just a couple of weeks ago, they told us that they blew up a drug trafficking camp in Ecuador, and it turned out to be a dairy farm. A dairy farm.
This is what incompetency and unchecked power looks like. It is reckless, it is dangerous, and this is not what our country will stand for. But I still have hope. I have hope in every one of you that is here today. I have hope in people across this country. We are going to speak up. We are going to continue to show up because we refuse to believe in a future ruled by fear, corruption, and chaos. We are not a country of kings. We are a country of laws. We are a country where people look out for one another. And we are a country that will fight peacefully, powerfully, and persistently to protect our democracy. I love you, Minnesotans. Thank you so much for being out here. And now it is my honor. It is my honor to introduce a lifelong hero of mine, the incredible, brave, courageous Jane Fonda.
Oh, wow, they brought up the stars.
Big stars coming out today.
Yeah, Jane Fonda. How old is Jane Fonda these days? I know it's not polite to ask, but she looks amazing. Look at her.
Hi,
She
Tons of
does.
energy as always.
I believe she's in
I'm
her
not going to make a
early
speech because
80s
we're
these
running
days,
late and there's
but
a bunch
she's
of people who have to catch planes.
with
Let
high
me just
energy
say
today.
Oh,
thank
the speech
you.
just blew away.
Thank you. Thank you, Minnesota. Thank you,
She
all
doesn't
the
need a speech.
unions. Thank you, all
She's
the
got this.
churches and mosques and synagogues and clergy and neighbors. We are learning so
She's
much
88.
from you. Now, when I point to you,
Amazing.
you're going to say Minnesota, okay? When people ask me how I know we will win, I have one word to say. When people ask me how I know love is stronger than hate, I say. When people ask me how nonviolence can win, I have one word to say. Thank you, Minnesota. Now, Becca Good, the wife of Renee Good, has asked me to read a statement, which I am honored to do. Hello, Minnesota. This is from Becca Good. I am so proud to call Minneapolis my home. I can't stop talking about how absolutely beautiful it is to see how Minnesota shows up for its people. I want to say thank you for how you've shown up for me, how you've shown up and shown out for all the people victimized by this horrible moment in history. So many people have reached out to me and surrounded me with safety and care. And I know I am not alone in feeling in awe of your generosity. Neighbors are paying people's rent and groceries. Hundreds of businesses become community hubs. This is beautiful. And beyond Minnesota, people all over the country and the world care about what happens here to all of us. I've received cards from elder grandmas saying, this is not what I voted for. I feel it, Rebecca says. I feel it, the immense love. And now other cities are taking their cue from what we've learned and creating new ways of caring for each other. Right on. And I want you to know that my sweet dog Wapsie is okay. All right. We love dogs. She is my sidekick and best friend for 12 years, and she is healing alongside me from what we lost that day. The reality is I am so heartbroken. I miss my wife. The world now knows that my wife sparkled with sunshine and shone with kindness that is unmatched. We were robbed of an incredible human. It has made people pause and take a breath and have to choose sides. We choose the side of love. Yes. Everyone who was there when my wife was taken from me has had their lives destroyed that day, including those agents. What we need is to stop destroying life. What is happening now is the result of far deeper issues that have been simmering across this country for a long time. Divisive rhetoric, escalating tensions, fear-mongering. We have to address the root causes of these issues and stop this violence where it came from. Renee and I stood for radical kindness. I love that notion, radical kindness. Renee and I believe that one of the things that will foster a world of radical kindness is to be able to admit mistakes and learn from them. We are allowed to decide that what we believed before isn't what we believe anymore. To change your mind is beautiful and powerful and brave. Renee and I believe that the love that's needed to build a world where we care for everyone already exists. Yeah, it already exists. Look at you all. And I see now that this is true. I have seen it. We have all seen it. And it sparkles because we know we can do better together. This is not the America I was told existed. I was told we are the people. I did not ask to be thrust into the spotlight or to be expected to speak out. It's a circumstance I unfortunately found myself in. But regardless of how I arrived here, I feel it's my responsibility to send a message that hate has divided us and destroyed so many lives and families. But we can choose something else. We can choose radical kindness. So let's do this.
Wow. Great statement.
And now, it is my honor to introduce a young woman whom I love a lot, a great singer and a great soul, Maggie Rogers.
So Jane Fonda reading Becca Good's statement there about the loss of her wife, saying choose radical kindness instead of hate.
Radical empathy, radical kindness. That's what they call it. So I'd rather be radically empathetic and kind than hateful and bigoted.
By the resilience and the fortitude that has been coming out of this state. So much love in the face of evil and hate. And the best way that I know how to give a little bit of love back to this city, it's been such a beacon of it, is to sing a song. This is called Different Kind of World. Thank you so much for having me. There's nowhere else in the world I would rather be today. One more song, I'll sing a song and make it a song for peace. Though we all may carry on, may we do so decently. My hands are shaking, palms are sweating, thinking about the state of the world. But when we're riding all together, it's a different kind of world. One more song, I'll write a song and know that it's for you. That new friend I haven't met with a different point of view. My knees are aching, back is breaking, thinking about the state of the world. But when we're riding all together, I'm a different kind of girl. Na, 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 na. When we're riding all together, it's a different. I'm a different kind of girl. It's my honor to introduce to you a good friend of mine who's also one of my heroes. Please welcome the great Joan Baez to the stage.
I was just going to say, she sounds so much like Joan Baez. She sounds a lot like Joan Baez, and here's Joan Baez. Maggie Rogers, stunning song there, eh?
Yeah, that was beautiful. That was really beautiful.
I am a huge fan of Joan Baez.
Yeah, this is wonderful. And also, before Joan gets started, someone said in the chat, and I want to make sure this is repeated, is to defeat fascism, we must be radically good and pretty.
On this
and we can be those two people
in this city
and make it happen.
At this moment.
Good thought.
For those of us who believe in the power of nonviolent resistance, and those of you who didn't, you have shown the way with your courage, determination, and decency. Thank you, Minneapolis.
They're running a bit late, so everyone's going to be really short and sweet here, which is quite interesting. Let's see what they're going to do. They're going to sing together. That's beautiful. What a nice opportunity.
Oh, this will be amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going to stand right here.
Perfect. All right. I think you first sang this song on the March on Washington. Is that right?
I sang this song for the first time with Dr. Martin Luther King in Grenada, Mississippi, actually, and then again on the March on Washington. Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and accept that the waters around you have grown, and accept it soon you'll be drenched to the bone. And if your time to you is worth saving, then you better start singing or you'll sink like a stone. For the times they are changing.
Come, writers and critics, prophesize with your thought, and keep your eyes wide if your chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin. There's no telling who that it's naming, for the loser now will be later to win. For the times they are changing. Come, senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall, for he who gets hurt will be he who has stalled. And there's a battle outside and it's raging. It'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls, for the times they are changing. Make some noise for Tom Morello.
Woohoo!
Come, mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you don't understand. Minneapolis, Minnesota is beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging, so get the fuck out the way if you can't lend a hand.
For the
times they are a-changing.
The line it is drawn, the curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast, as the present now will later
later be past. The order is rapidly fading. Get the first one now will later be last. And the times, they are a-changing. For the times, they are a-changing.
Thank you, Minneapolis. You're an inspiration to the nation.
That was so beautiful. Give me a second. Before we go on, let me wipe my eyes real quick. Like, holy shit, y'all. Like, that was incredible. Hey, what's up, Lev?
Hey, bro. Hey, guys. What up?
Man, that was...
The next song.
I can't wait to replay that.
I sang this with Dr. King in
And all
Montgomery,
this music, I cannot
Alabama,
wait to replay
60
this
years ago.
later. These are so
I'm
beautiful.
deeply moved to sing it here today with two groups you all know. They were born on the streets of this city and stood through the freezing winter with you and are standing still, are showing up and still standing and playing. The Brass Solidarity Band formed spontaneously after the murder of George Floyd. It is a joyous celebration of the power of music.
I got to see these guys, this group live, and they're so
The Singing
incredible and
Resistance
powerful.
is a group of folks from across Minnesota.
I just
who
wanted to stop by and say
simply
hi
could
for a
not
few
be
minutes
silent
because I
about
couldn't. You guys
injustice
are amazing, doing
on
great
their
work. But I gotta go jump
They
on with
came
Dean
together,
because
their
he has
voices
some
raised
coffee out of my tea. We gotta go to
people's
work.
power.
But I love you guys. I
you're
just
all
wanted to
here
stop by and
today.
say what's up. And Nick, I can't wait. We got some incredible
join
stuff going on. And
Awesome.
This is good. I'll see you guys later.
Awesome. Thanks, love. Glad to see you, brother.
We're getting it together.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to Freedom Land. Ain't gonna let discrimination turn me around, no. Turn me around, no. Turn me around. Ain't gonna let discrimination turn me around. Keep on walking and keep on talking, marching up to Freedom Land. No kings ain't gonna let no kings turn me around. Turn me around. Turn me around. Ain't gonna let no kings turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, gonna you world. Injustice ain't gonna let injustice turn me around, turn me around. Injustice, oh, I'm gonna let injustice turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to Freedom Land. Racism ain't gonna let racism turn me around. No, racism ain't gonna let racism turn me around. Gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to Freedom. No president gonna let no president turn me around, turn me around. No president ain't gonna let no president turn me
marching up to freedom land. Turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Whoa, turn me around. Keep on walking, keep on talking, marching to the land.
No voy a dejar la migra a detenerme, a detenerme, a detenerme. No voy a dejar la migra a detenerme.
I'm gonna keep on walking,
keep cantando, marching up to freedom.
nobody ain't gonna let nobody
Turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on, I'm gonna keep on, hey, hey, marching up to freedom. Hey.
Nobody ain't gonna let nobody. Keep on walking, keep on walking.
I'm gonna keep
Keep on talking, marching up to freedom.
Resistance Choir and Brass Solidarity. I don't know if you heard their first part there, the Resistance Choir. They're amazing.
So good. So good.
You know-
Brass Solidarity is so good. I got to see them while I was in Minneapolis, actually.
Do you
and
get the sense that this is
interact
just a much more entertaining No Kings? Because I don't remember enjoying the last one as much as I'm enjoying this one.
with them. Yeah, I think this
And
one,
now,
people really
please
took the
welcome to
spirit
the
of
stage
spring
two of
and said,
Minnesota's
we're going out and we're having fun and we're showing joy in a way
Mhm.
that is unprecedented. And if you've ever seen Brass Solidarity in person, if you're in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area and you've been able to see them, I was lucky enough to get to see them live during the Abolish ICE event, and they played for an extra hour for the audience.
So grateful to see all
They're
of you.
so
Bushu,
amazing. They are
Peggy
just
Flanagan and
wonderful, and they
Jishnakas,
care,
Gishuwe
just like the
Badamukwe
rest of that
Indigo,
community.
Wabaga Ganakagdan Dunjaba, Mayango no Dame. My name is Peggy Flanagan. My Ojibwe name is Speaks in a Loud and Clear Voice Women.
Fuck yeah, it is.
I'm a member of the White Earth Nation, and my family is the Wolf Clan. And the role of our clan is to ensure that we leave no one behind. And that's one of the reasons why I am so proud to be a Minnesotan. You have been showing the world with your own loud and clear voices what it means to leave no one behind. You know, I grew up on the margins. My mom needed food stamps, childcare assistance, and Medicaid to afford it all. I am the descendant of Native people who have lived here since time immemorial, who were pushed from their homes onto the White Earth Reservation. And I am the great-granddaughter of a young girl who traveled here from Ireland at the age of 15. She sailed to this country with her younger siblings that she was responsible for. And that is my story, and everyone here has a story in how you got here today. For generations, powerful people have tried to silence us. And there are so many reasons why we shouldn't be here, why we shouldn't exist. But we are here because we are resilient. And friends, Donald Trump thinks we should just shut up and do what we're told. But that has never worked for me, and that will never work for you.
Donald Trump underestimated Minnesotans. He thought that we would back down. He thought we would get tired, that we would turn on each other, but we turned towards each other. He underestimated the power of educators, servers, construction workers, nurses, poets, and moms, and people working together. And no one asked to be on the front lines, but Minnesotans stepped up. And everyday people showed us how to be incredible just by caring about each other. And you are here today because you understand the whole point of No Kings. When federal agents kill our neighbors in the streets, when cowards vote to steal healthcare and food off the table, and billionaires rip off everyday people and wannabe dictators start illegal wars, we will not be silent. This mass of humanity, of community, this movement in front of me shows the world that we are not powerless. Friends, we are the power, and we've decided that we will help our neighbor and we will welcome the stranger. This movement is for everybody who knows that this president has gone too far. Because if you come for one of us, you come for all of us. And Minnesotans, we are carrying a lot right now. Grief, anger, the weight of what has been done to our communities, done to our children, to our babies, and the heaviness of the lives that have been taken. Renee Good should be alive. Alex Preddy should be alive. We say their names, we honor their memories, and we turn our grief into action. Because the work is not done and the crisis is not over. And some of us will never be whole again. But here's the deal, friends. We all know that famous quote from Senator Paul Wellstone, which is, and say it with me, we all do better when we all do better. It is the unofficial slogan of Minnesota. But my favorite quote from Paul Wellstone is sometimes you gotta pick a fight to win one. Because there are some fights that are worth picking. And for me, my purpose is clear. No matter what I do from here on out, I am fighting to avenge Minnesota. I am fighting to bring justice to our people. Because with this president, there's always plenty of money for ICE, for bombs, and for the oligarchs, just not for you. But they awakened in Minnesota a power that doesn't even exist in Washington, D.C. It exists within each one of us. We're fighting for a future where one job is enough to afford the lives people want to live. We are fighting for where healthcare
Nick,
is a human right, not
when did
something
we,
that
as a
pushes
country,
into
accept
debt.
that oligarchy was okay? Everyone keeps talking about it in these speeches like it's a done deal, like oligarchy is just the way of the world now. And it's only been a few years we've had the oligarchy trying to cement itself here in the United States. And it's one of those things that just listening to these speeches, listening to Bernie Sanders earlier, there is a kind of a creeping sense of criminality creeping into our world that is, taking over every part of government, taking over so much of our lives, making all that's terrible acceptable, making, good people go to prison, making bad people presidents. And I am just becoming allergic to that notion that we are not the same as everybody else. We are not the same as Russia. Just because they have oligarchs that are basically mob mafia dons does not mean America is the place that has oligarchs. In fact, we are not a place that has oligarchs. We have to fight these people. We have to fight them tooth and nail. And this sort of tacit acceptance that just because they're billionaires, it's okay, is not true. They broke the law. They broke the law to become billionaires. Donald Trump broke the law to become president. These people deserve to be in jail, not admired by society, held up by society, or even permitted in our society. The oligarchy is a terrible thing in America.
Yeah. And I think you're right. I mean, we have had a thread of oligarchical aspects throughout American history. We call them robber barons here for the most part. However, the U.S. is founded on anti-oligarchy. The U.S. was founded on the collective wealth of rich people being donated into a single pool to pay for our troops, to pay for roads, to pay for our institutions. Our founding fathers, good or bad, whoever they may be, they did one thing at least right, which was they put together and consolidated all of their wealth into a national fund. We call it the Treasury. They gave up their wealth. They gave up their titles. They gave up their riches and their privileges within the English monarchy and the English crown to become America. We have a history of anti-oligarchy or anti-robber barons in this country because every time they get too big, we tax the fuck out of them, and America gets better for it.
Not lately.
Someone asked in one of the YouTube chats, how are you going to do that? And they said it in like a very sarcastic way, I think, was how are you going to do that? Tax the rich and corporations or something? Yes. Tax the fuck out of them. Tax them until they are no longer rich and gigantic corporations because it's our money that they are stealing and hoarding. It's not theirs.
Here's Keith Ellison, the Attorney General, played a huge role in how things were resolved ultimately. But I want to play some Springsteen, and we have to make some choices here. So
I want you to think about Liam Conejo Ramos.
I'm going to play some Springsteen, and this is earlier on today. If you missed it, it was incredible. Here is Springsteen, I believe, playing tribute, and I haven't seen this part of it myself, so I hope it is what it says it is.
Hello, Minnesota.
That looks like Springsteen.
That looks like Springsteen. Sounds like Springsteen.
Turning into a beautiful day.
Gonna let him roll solo here.
Well, this past winter, federal troops brought death and terror to the streets of Minneapolis. Well, they picked the wrong city. The power and the solidarity of the people of Minneapolis and of Minnesota was an inspiration to the entire country. Your strength and your commitment told us that this is still America. And this reactionary nightmare and these invasions of American cities will not stand. You gave us hope. You gave us courage. And for those who gave their lives, Renee Good, mother of 3, brutally murdered, Alex Preddy, VA nurse, executed by ICE, shot in the back and left to die in the street without even the decency of our lawless government investigating their deaths. Their bravery, their sacrifice, and their names will not be forgotten.
Oh, you're muted again, Zev. Zev, you're muted again.
Sorry about that. It was only the intro we wanted to listen to there. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
However, we're not done with Bruce Springsteen. Don't worry, everybody. This will play us out tonight, I think, if it plays correctly. Let me try one more time to make sure that it's there. This is beautiful. This is beautiful.
By democracy and radicalized to do all we can to oppose authoritarianism. So for those of you watching at home, welcome to the North Star State. Welcome to the land of hope and dreams. And it's my pleasure to be able to welcome somebody who has spent a lifetime giving voice to the working class, expressing our hopes and dreams, our fears, all of the things that makes us human, and has done that with a voice that resonated across generations. So I have to tell you, we're damn sure about this. We need no damn kings.
Look at that crowd.
But I'll tell you what,
Massive.
I'm glad we have.
Larger than
we do need a
Donald
boss.
Trump's
Please
inauguration.
welcome Bruce Springsteen to the stage.
Absolutely. That's
It
incredible.
looks larger
Incredible.
than his inauguration.
Yeah, it's like 100,000 people there. It looks,
Donald Trump had what, like 10?
I don't know. Gee, I think you could draw a crowd right now.
I think he could draw a tiny crowd.
Yeah.
They might all fall asleep during it.
They're all at
he could
CPAC this
probably draw a
weekend.
tiny crowd.
Hello, Minnesota.
I love this because, you know, they don't have the full setup. Are we going to listen to the same thing again? Is this the same bit?
Turning into a beautiful day.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to move it ahead a little bit because we've already seen it.
Well, this past winter, federal troops brought and terror to the streets of Minneapolis. Well, they picked the wrong city. The power and the solidarity of the people of Minneapolis and of Minnesota was an inspiration to the entire country. Your strength and your commitment told us that this is still America. And this reactionary nightmare and these invasions of American cities will not stand. You gave us hope, you gave us courage, and for those who gave their lives, Renee Good, mother of 3, brutally murdered, Alex Preddy, VA nurse, executed by ICE, shot in the back and left to die in the street without even the decency of our lawless government investigating their deaths. Their bravery, their sacrifice, and their names will not be forgotten. Well, through the winter's ice and cold, down Nicollet Avenue, a city of flame fought fire and ice, 'neath an occupier's boots. King Trump's private army from the DHS, guns belted to their coats, came to Minneapolis to enforce their law, or so their story goes. Against smoke and rubber bullets, well, by the dawn's early light, citizens stood for justice, their voices ringing through the night. And there were bloody footprints where mercy should have stood. 2 dead left to die on snow-filled streets, Alex Preddy and Renee Good. Oh, Minneapolis, I hear your voice singing through the bloody mist. We'll take our stand for this land and the stranger in our midst. Here in our home, they killed and roamed in the winter of 26. Who remember the names of those who died on the streets of Minneapolis? Trump's federal thugs beat up on his face and his chest. Hell, then we heard the gunshots, and Alex Preddy lay in the snow dead. Their claim was self-defense, sir. Just don't believe your eyes. It's our blood and bones and these whistles and phones against Miller and Noam's fucking lies. Well, Minneapolis, I hear your voice crying through the bloody mist. We'll remember the names of those who died on the streets of Minneapolis. They say they're here to uphold the law, but they trample on our rights. If your skin is black or brown, my friend, you'll be questioned and deported on sight. In our chance of ice out now, let me hear you. In our chance of ice out now, let me hear you. In our chance of ice out now, our city's heart and soul persists through broken glass and bloody tears on the streets of Minneapolis. Well, Minneapolis, I hear your voice crying through the bloody mist. Here in our home, they killed and roamed in the winter of 26. We'll take our stand for this land and the stranger in our midst. We'll remember the names of those who died on the streets of Minneapolis. We'll remember the names of those who died on the streets of Minneapolis.
Great Bruce Springsteen closing out the show today and performing incredibly in Minneapolis, the streets of Minneapolis, remembering the names of those who died, Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy.
And so many others, and others that are not named, but here from Minneapolis, we've got at least those two. And
yeah,
man, that was beautiful.
Yeah, that really is. And I'm going to let it simmer in the background here as well while we say goodbye, because we are a bit over time. But Nick, it's been great having you on. As always, great to be with you. Tell people where they can find you and follow your stuff.
Yeah, thanks, Zev. I appreciate you having me on with you today. It's an honor to be here. You can follow me at Sick of the Shit Publications, where I do work on chronic illness, discussions, and masculinity. And you can also follow me on Banner and Backbone. And if you're on Substack with us, hit that subscribe in the top corner. You'll subscribe to all three, me, Banner and Backbone, and Zev. And you can support my work there. Come become a paid or free subscriber. Both help, but anything, and spread this message after. We're doing a lot of work on masculinity and breaking down these walls of these fragile men who are destroying our society. And you'll actually see Zev next week with me for his interview. Wednesday afternoon, you'll be seeing Zev with me for his interview. So come follow me at Sick of the Shit Publications and Banner and Backbone. And Zev, again, I appreciate the.
It's great to have you on. It's always great. And thank you for your service. You know, one of the reasons I really wanted to do this today with you is because you're a veteran, and you know, the people are facing the toughest choices right now are in the military, facing the unbelievable war that they've been sent into, and that looks like a ground war may develop there. So, our hearts and our thoughts are with them and with all the servicemen who served America. Thank you very much, and thank you for your service. And thank you at home for watching. We'll leave you some Bruce Springsteen. You know where to find me at narrative.org, NARATIV.org. A couple thousand people watching a little replay of the events today at No Kings. That's not bad. We'll see you again on Monday.
Thanks, everyone.
Through the bloody mist. We'll take our stand for this land and the stranger in our midst. Here in our home, they killed and roamed in the winter of 26. Who remember the names of those who died on the streets of Minneapolis? Trump's federal thugs beat up on his face and his chest. Hell, then we heard the gunshots, and Alex Pretty lay in the snow dead. Their claim was self-defense, sir. Just don't believe your eyes. It's our blood and bones and these whistles and phones against Miller and Nome's fucking lies. Well, Minneapolis, I hear your voice crying through the bloody mist. We'll remember the names of those who died on the streets of Minneapolis. They say they're here to uphold the law, but they trample on our rights. If your skin is black or brown, my friend, you'll be questioned, deported on sight. In our chance of ice out now, let me hear you. In our chance of ice out now, let me hear you. In our chance of ice out now, our city's heart and soul persist through broken glass and bloody tears on the streets of Minneapolis. Well, Minneapolis, I hear your voice crying through the bloody mist. Here in our home, they killed and roamed in the winter of 26. We'll take our stand for this land and the stranger in our midst. We'll remember the names of those who died on the streets of Minneapolis. We'll remember the names of those who died on the streets of Minneapolis.